Hello, everybody. It's very nice to see everybody here today. The topic of today's webinar is from founder to sales leader. And today we'll discuss proven strategies for founders to take charge of their sales process and grow faster with AI tools. Your today's speaker is Alexander Vasenko. I'm a customer success lead at AnyBiz, AI SDR, and we proud ourselves to be expert in sales and lead generation specifically. So, to begin with, it's always best to start with lining up the challenges that founders face in sales. So, the challenge number one. So, first of all, and that's what I've seen myself too many times, too many founders try to wear too many hats, and as a result, sales is getting overlooked. This is normal. We all understand why this happens, because when you start a business, when you're a founder, you don't have too many staff in place. You always try to get a control over every single process because you care about your business. But in the end of the day, you just wear too many hats, and nobody will be surprised if at some point it will start to fall down. And that leads us to the problem number two, which is lack of time and resource to focus on sales. This basically naturally comes out of problem number one. Because when you're trying to wear too many hats, you cannot dedicate enough time to all the areas you have. You're just forced to split your time, and unfortunately all of us have only 24 hours in a day. And you have to split them to manage every single process. So it's no surprise that at some point, and actually that happens extremely frequently, that you just don't dedicate enough time to sales, then don't dedicate enough resources, and resources also require time, and time is a resource, and that also leads to negative consequences. And if we give it a bit more practical visualization, that would be problem number three. That's a difficulty in building a scalable and consistent process. And this is probably the most common problem I've seen. So in my career, I've worked with, I would say, if not hundreds, then like dozens of different entrepreneurs, founders. Mostly they were founders of small businesses. And there's one common problem for many of them. It's hard to build a consistent, structured, scalable sales process. That requires dedication, patience, expertise, and a little bit of luck. And while the last one can't really be obtained, but the first three things I mentioned, you can build this out, but you need to work on that, and that what is too many people fail. And that also leads us to the problem number four. Too many decisions are data-driven. Actually, what I've seen, and that's actually quite surprising, that so many extremely smart, educated, experienced professional people, when they start dealing with sales, they tend to make decisions that are driven by their emotion and their subjective opinion rather than facts and real data, empirical data. Especially that happens when the founder is not a salesperson by their nature and career, but rather a tech person, they're a product developer, they're good in operations, they're good in management, they're good entrepreneurs. But sales, that requires not just creativity, that requires certain discipline backed by expertise. And this is what many founders lack. Okay, so slide number two, shift from founder to sales leader. So what do we have to do? What do you have to do to shift from a founder to not just a founder, but a sales leader? Number one, do research and make strategies that actually works. I know that every single founder that starts sales process, you always have your strategies, and that's normal. But at the same time, the problem I've seen too many times that the strategy is not really backed by real data because it simply lacks research. When you push your product to the market, your service to the market, it's not enough just to know what's the problem of your users. You actually need to dive deep into their problems, into the way they perceive these problems, because still your point of view might be different, and not getting the right point, the right impression of your target audience might lead to wrong selections of target, wrong selections of message, many other things, and things can go south. So number two, You have to establish a consistent and structured sales process. I already mentioned on the previous slide, that consistency is a key. I remember one case which was extremely painful for me to see when I saw a founder. I approached him as a consultant, and when I was reviewing their sales process, I was truly amazed by the amount of effort, time, and resources they poured into their sales that literally did not pay off at all because they were not consistent. They were constantly jumping from one decision to another, testing one thing without even waiting, without even setting proper deadlines, measurement marks for different items that they're testing, that they're doing. They were just chaotically jumping from one thing to another, and as a result, they were not doing none of the things they tried to work out for them. So consistency is important. You might be a bit slower, just a bit, but at the same time, you'll get plenty of insight. So, number 3, set clear goals that drive growth. Another thing that I've seen often. The goals are super important and you have to set them well. And it's not even about setting realistic goals, not setting the bar too high because it'll be unreachable. But at the same time, I've seen cases when the goals were set just too low and they were just not driving growth. I don't know what else can I say. And number 4, you got to let go of your perfection. It happens especially often to very technical founders, because I understand perfection is a very cool feature. You put this extra effort into making things work out great. You don't want to be good, you want to be best. And this is remarkable, this is nice. But I assume many of you heard about Burnout principle, which claims that 20% of your effort is going to generate 80% of results, and vice versa. 80% of your effort will actually provide you with 20% of result. And as we know, probably the most important thing on the market right now, you have to be fast. You got to be fast in your decision making. You got to be fast in things you do. And simply, if you spend too much time on this 20% of results, if you dedicate 80% of your time for something that will generate you 4 times that result, then it's just not worth doing that. Just keep doing the things that keep concentrating on this 20% that will generate you 80% result. Don't waste your time on things that don't pay off, because market is merciless. Number 5, don't give up too early. Keep iterating. And that's another thing that would be extremely helpful for many founders. It's also resembles consistency, because you have to keep iterating, you have to keep working. Everybody, we heard a story about the guy who founded McDonald's. Well, he founded that in the age of 50, but he kept trying that work out. And from my experience, and I've seen hundreds of different lead generation projects, that actually matters. I've seen cases when even after 6 months, things were just turning upside down. I've ever seen ROI, they were just breaking even, and then it was even providing revenue. Sometimes it takes more time, but you gotta keep iterating. Don't do the same thing. Make changes, make measurable changes, track them, evaluate their results, but keep iterating and don't give up if things don't work out right away. And this brings us to the power of AI in sales leadership. I'll probably start this slide with a little bit of background behind it. Everybody remembers how in 2022, when AI just started spreading across the world, ChatGPT was released, and it was such a hype. AI is cool, it can write content, it can write you sales messages, it's very cool. And then the hype changed with disappointment, because the expectation that was built to AI, the hype built a too high expectation, and when people actually started really testing this, they saw that AI is not that good at that point of time, 2023. And basically AI got a bit different label. Now people are thinking that AI is not as good, it's overestimated, and some people are even saying AI is a scam. But the truth is something different. Truth is that in 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2025, and it will keep continuing in 2026, all the AI products, all the AI businesses, they kept working on their artificial intelligence. And one thing that was super consistent, AI consistently keeps getting better. So what was not maybe super effective 2 years ago, now at the Sun 25, I can confident to say AI is sometimes amazing, even me. And I have a pretty high bar. So this is why it's obviously and it's absolutely necessary to start adopting AI in your sales processes. So where you can embrace it. First of all, you can automate your lead generation with AI powered tools. Sales process definitely not easy, but I can split it into lead generation and what I call deal handling. So while handling deals, closing deals is not that easy. It requires a lot of, like personal touch, understanding psychology, thinking on your feet. On contrary to that, lead generation usually presumes a lot of manual tasks that can be automated, tasks that are not complicated, but they take time. You have to be consistent. You have to keep doing that. And AI is doing that just great. And that's not the only thing that AI can help you with. Another super cool thing about AI is AI can help you personalize your outreach at scale. I believe many founders heard that, your message should be personalized. But if you assign this task to your SDR and that person will start researching companies, checking their info, making a personalization, you'll see that actually they will spend probably a couple of hours a day just to research info about, 40 to 50 companies. And they'll spend 3 to 4 hours with that. And they have a lot of other things, so they'll easily have to sacrifice something. I used to do research myself. I know that good personalization takes time, otherwise you're gonna look creepy. And a very cool thing about AI is that it is capable of doing a proper research, checking out the websites, checking out information about businesses, individuals, and using that as personalization. Spoiler, recently we made a couple of great changes in AnyBiz and our product, and we strongly enhanced our research capabilities. A lot of different signals coming in. Some of them are already ready, some of them are yet to come. I can say that capabilities of AI have strongly increased, let's say, compared to what I was even so last year. It's a completely different thing. Last year I was skeptical. This year I actually had to pick up my jaw from the ground because I was amazed how well it's doing that. Number 3 here is easily test any hypothesis with AI that can work 24/7. So the cool thing about AI, it actually does not get tired. You can make it work 24/7 for you. And that is important because we discussed it previously that you have to be fast in your decisions while at the same time you have to be consistent and you have to keep iterating, but you have to set clear measurement goals that you have to hit. And for a person that is listening to that, it might seem a bit, just conflicting itself, because how can you do it at the same time? These are the opposite things. Well, you can do that. That's the thing. So with AI, you can actually quickly test different hypotheses, start different campaigns, run different, ideas, quickly test them, because AI is not an SDR. It can do it much faster. So get an idea, you let AI run it, and you get results much faster. AI tools will present you with necessary data and statistics. That's what we do at AnyBiz. And you will get clear empirical data on your idea that will help you to drive your sales. And lastly, AI-driven insights for that data-backed decisions. That's also super important, and that also leads us back to the research. Doing research is not hard. Even monkey could do that, but that you need to have a monkey, you need to pay that monkey, and you need that monkey to have time. You can do it yourself, but I bet you have plenty of other tasks on your plate. And this is why AI is helpful here, because it doesn't require time. It can easily do that. It can collect you this insights and present to you, which I personally use on a constant basis, which really helps me to understand all of our customers, understand markets, understand different market trends, and so on. Now I want to share a few words about how AnyBiz helps founders transition to sales leaders. Number 1 is that AnyBiz has multi-channel outreach, email, LinkedIn, and AI cold calls in one package. This kind of resonates to the item number 2 in this list, because what I've seen that everybody can just get the phone and start hit the numbers. Well, everybody can do that. Everybody can start manually typing emails from your mailbox. Everybody can connect with people on LinkedIn. Now just imagine yourself doing that, all of that. And imagine how much time you would spend this. That'll be just an enormous amount of time. So the cool thing about AnyBiz, you don't have to spend any time of yours on that. You only come in, you tell AnyBiz what you do, what kind of problems you solve, what makes you special, what makes you different from your competitors. Share a few words about your target audience, and AI will do all of that for you. And super important is that AI will do that at scale. Like I said, you can start, sending emails from your mailbox. But now let's imagine that you want to do that for 100 or 500 people a day. I bet that will be much harder. And to do it at scale, you need to get proper email infrastructure. And 98% of people who are doing outreach have no idea how to deal with email durability, how to avoid spam, how to set up mailboxes correctly. Just in case of anything, phone numbers can also get spammed, and most of the people have no idea what to do with that. Many people don't know what are the limitations on LinkedIn, how to use the tool properly. So these are details, they seem to be small and minor in the beginning, but once you'll start doing that, that'll be a huge pain in your butt. And with AnyBiz, you don't have to worry about that at all. It's already covered. Basically, just sign up. You have already email infrastructure set up. You get all the mailboxes set up. You get all the records set up, all the domains set up. Email warm-up is ready. And we use probably one of the best warm-up tools on the market, which is Warmy. And phone calls, phone numbers, already ready. Basically, you don't have to think about a single thing in there. You just manage the strategy. And another thing AnyBiz has is what we discussed before. Recently, we updated our personalization capabilities. Now, I can comfortably say that now it can be hyper-personalized. We can do deeper search. AnyBiz can go to websites, can read their company websites, it can read their news, check what they do, if they do something, if they don't, and adapt to their information and personalize accordingly. And that's important. Your SDR, if you have a junior SDR, I bet they will not be able to handle it. And your middle or senior will just have to spend too much time on that. And lastly, AnyBiz can help you to track, handle, and follow up your MQLs and SQLs. What kind of sales tool that can be if it cannot help you to deal with MQLs and SQLs? So AI is already smart enough to actually follow up with your prospects, remind them that they should respond to you, stay in touch, and consistently keep an eye on them. So you actually get people who show up to your meetings. And a few words why founders should embrace AI for sales. So first of all, increase efficiency, productivity. Get rid of manual tasks. You're too qualified for doing all of that. Delegate that to AI to handle this manual task, mundane job, while you actually concentrate on something you're actually worse off, which is strategy, which is management. Number 2, boost lead generation and conversion rates. Too many people just, get stuck at not knowing what to do right, and just doing the wrong thing, and their conversion, their lead generation just, does not move forward. So AI tools for sales can help you to deal with that, because it's already made solution for you that already closes that problem for you. Besides, AI can help you to eliminate the bottleneck of hiring sales team to handle large volumes of tasks. This is what we just discussed before. This is a manual work, and as I like to say, 9 women cannot give birth to 1 baby in a month. Your one SDR cannot do all of the job, no matter how much you want to. At some point, you'll just have to hire another person for that. But having AI work for you can actually break this threshold barrier of human limitation and do more than a human being can do. And lastly, AI for sales can help you to obtain consistent and measurable insights from outreach. Shorten your testing time. You'll get 2 kinds of extremely valuable insights. Number 1, you'll know what works for you, which essentially points you out where you should go. And number 2, You know what does not work for you, which essentially many people overlook. And I can tell that usually it is seeing what does not work for you helps you to get to the right place, not what works for you. So AI insights on the outreach will help you to get both of these. I want to share one very nice example from my own experience, and I'll describe one of our customers. I will not give their names, but there was a business, healthcare recruitment company. It's an extremely competitive market. I believe you know that recruitment is tough these days. Plenty of recruitment on the market, not so much demand. And their CEO was a typical case, small company, but very hard working. Basically, he could hit the inbox, send emails himself. He could dial people. He could connect with them on LinkedIn. But he had so many other things to manage that he just couldn't do that at scale. And once he tried to do that at scale, he got problems with spam. He got restrictions on LinkedIn. Basically, phone calls were taking just too much time. This is when he approached AnyBiz. So basically, AnyBiz started an outreach for them, couple of iterations, couple of data-driven changes to the strategy based on the insights that were received through AnyBiz. And as a result, just within the past 6 weeks, they got 3 contracts. And I can tell you, 3 contracts from one AI SDR. That's just one AI SDR. I'm not talking about a team of AI SDR that you can hire. Just one. That you pay like 5 times less. They were paid to a real human being. Got him 3 contracts, which basically provided enormous ROI. So that works. So let's sum it up. What founders can do now to become sales leaders. First of all, start by testing and automating your basic sales outreach. Just start it now. You gotta start somewhere. Number 2, you gotta implement AI into your sales workflows to support your team, to get rid of manual tasks, to allow them constrain something more important where a qualification would fit better. At the same time, to get this stable flow of insights that will make every step of yours much more precise. Number 3, measure results and adjust sales strategies regularly. You gotta measure results, you gotta look for data, you gotta check how things work and make data-driven decisions. You have to do that on a constant basis, even if it's small changes, but you have to do that, and trust me, this will pay off for you. And lastly, stay open to change and be ready to embrace innovation. Well, we're living in a fast-changing world, and those who will not adapt will be left behind. And thank you now. If anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Here are my contacts. You're welcome to join our Slack, Facebook, or WhatsApp communities. And feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you.